Just about every time I ask around to Georgia Bulldog insiders how spring practice is going, a lot of them have the same answer, and they want to talk about the tight ends. It is a group that apparently has been turning heads throughout the last several weeks, starting with Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, Jaden Riddell, and the two outstanding freshmen that everyone seems to want to talk about. So I'm going to talk about all of that in today's video. I've got insider notes, I've got quotes, I've got a lot of other detailed scoop on how Georgia's tight ends have been performing this spring. Now, I do want to say that, yes, I've heard a lot about the wide receivers. I expect a lot from that group as far as the two incoming transfers, the freshmen, and another walk-on who is apparently turning heads as well. We're going to have more about that over on Dawg Post. And yes, I'm hearing good things about Gunnar Stockton and the way he's practiced this spring. I mean, he is a leader. This is his team. And some insiders laugh when I ask them about the quarterback battle. Yes, they love Ryan Puglisi. They think the world of him. They think he might be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the conference. But they all say this is Gunnar's team. He's out there leading. He knows what to do, so on and so on, right? But at the end of the day, they all want to talk about the tight ends because, again, that group has been very, very impressive. Here's what one insider told Dawg Post this past weekend after Georgia's second scrimmage. Quote, lots of tight end action during the last two scrimmages. Lawson Lucky, Jaden Riddell, Elias Williams, Ethan Barbour, they all had good catches this past weekend. Jaden Riddell had an amazing long catch, one insider told me. Oscar Delp had a couple of catches. Ethan Barbour scored a touchdown. Now, real quick on Ethan Barbour, I saw some Twitter guy the other day post a picture of Ethan saying, you heard it here first, Ethan Barbour is going to be a real good player at Georgia. I'm just thinking, what are you talking about, man? People who do this for a living have been talking about Ethan Barbour since before he had a Georgia offer, right? I've been telling everyone on this channel years ago how good this guy was. And I've been saying over and over, the outlets had him ranked criminally. They all had him ranked way lower than he needed to be. I've been higher on Ethan Barbour apparently than everyone, right? As far as his ranking goes, I thought he was an easy top 10 tight end out of high school. I don't know where the other outlets ended up ranking him. It doesn't matter. The kid's an absolute baller. I saw him play at Alpharetta. I saw him play at Milton. He was the best player just about on the field every single time I went to watch him. He is a pass-catching machine, and he is very, very good. But I think a lot of people kind of forget about him because Elias Williams is that dog, right? He is that high 4-star, low 5-star, whatever he was end up ranked at. But he is a guy that's like 6'7", 240, runs like a deer, great athlete, was a standout basketball player down in Camden County. Both of those guys, I expect to have a really, really nice career in Athens, and I've said that for a while. So if y'all are on this channel, if y'all are over on dawgpost.com, that's not a surprise that those two have been really impressive this spring because I told y'all years ago, these guys are really, really good. So not only have those guys already started to make an impact, but Oscar Delp is taking more of a leadership role. I was told that he wasn't all that thrilled with the number of targets he was getting last year and kind of sat with the staff and said, hey, there are other options. I want to be a Georgia Bulldog. I want to come back. But what's the plan, right? I feel like I've earned more targets. I've become a better blocker each and every year. I've made a lot of plays going back to my freshman season. Is there a plan for me? And they did everything they could to make sure Oscar Delp came back for his fourth and final season with his best friend Gunnar Stockton at quarterback. I think you can expect Oscar to see more opportunities to make plays in the passing game, more targets to come his way. But Lawson Lucky is really good too. I'm going to talk about him in just a second. But back to the two freshmen. This is what another insider told me. Elias and Ethan are going to be great additions to the room. They each showed why they are at Georgia. So again, I'm not sure those two are going to start this year because they're at the bottom of the depth chart, right? As they should be. They should be in high school, but they're not because they're dogs, right? On and off the field. They're getting after it. But those two are not going to be on the bench for very long. I can promise you that. But Lawson Lucky, another outstanding pass catcher. He's going to still make a big impact next season. He's one of the veterans now. This will be year 3 for him. He's starting to come more and more into his own. Here's a quote that someone told me about Lawson Lucky this past weekend after Georgia's second scrimmage. He said, Lawson was one of the best players on the field. He played well. He's put on 10 pounds from the end of last season, so he's blocking a lot better. He had a couple good catches. The offense moved the ball much better this weekend. We were kind of told that the defense kind of outshined the offense in that first scrimmage. Appeared that that was not the case this past scrimmage. Again, Ethan Barbour scored a touchdown. I think wide receiver Noah Thomas got in the end zone. And the tight ends apparently got a lot of passes thrown their way. Another insider said the competition in the tight end room will be some of the toughest in the country. They push each other every day. The team as a whole, of course, they have some kinks to work out, but show me a school that doesn't. This is not a perfect team. I don't think anyone's out there saying there's a perfect team, but there's some question marks, especially on defense. There's some on the offensive line. There's some at running back. And Gunnar Stockton, to a lot of people, is still a question mark at quarterback. But I'm telling you, he's going to look to the tight ends this year. Jaden Riddell could be one of the breakout stars across the team. That guy is outstanding and just another weapon in the passing game who has really improved his blocking. I was told by a source after the first scrimmage, everyone knows he can catch the ball. Everyone knows that he can challenge defenses vertically. He's great after the catch, but his blocking has gotten a lot better too. And that's how you see the field, right? Brock Bowers was a great blocker from day one, but he was obviously, an elite pass catcher. That's why he saw the field. But Oscar played a lot in 2022 as a freshman. And a lot of that was because of the effort that he brought in the run blocking game, right? And on the edge, setting that edge and opening up those holes outside of the tackle. And he's, one of the best blocking tight ends in the country. But I do think we're going to see more of Oscar Delp in the passing game. That doesn't mean we're going to see less of Lawson Lucky. It doesn't mean we're going to just completely not see Jaden Riddell. And of course, Colton Heinrich is battling through an injury right now, but he's a guy they went after for a reason out of high school. And then the two freshmen, I could talk about them for a long, long time. The athleticism, the ball skills, the effort, the drive, the competitiveness that those guys have. Ethan Barbour came from Milton, basically Milton University, right? So he knows what it takes to practice at a high level, and he knows how to how to play to a standard. And yeah, sure, practice to a standard too. So he knows how to win. He comes from a winning program, and he's not coming to Georgia, for anything less. That guy and Elias Williams, they know the talent ahead of them, but that's not going to stop them. They're going to keep fighting and pushing until they see the field. So if you're Gunnar Stockton, you've got a lot of weapons, not only at wide receiver, and that might be another video because those guys are apparently turning heads as well, but you've got a lot of tight ends that are capable and talented. You've got the two veterans, Oscar and Lawson, guys who have made plays before, but Jaden Riddell's here to make plays. This is year two for him. He's not content with sitting on the bench very long. And we know that Georgia has no problem putting three tight ends out there. They love having two. You almost rarely see just one, depending on the situation, the down and distance and all that. But I think three tight ends is a formation that they have no problem running out there because of the talent they have. So Jaden Riddell, more and more, I think is going to impress Georgia fans over time. But Lawson Lucky getting better, adding weight. We saw what he brings to the table as a pass catcher. And, we saw Oscar make a big impact as the season went on. 2 touchdowns against Tennessee. He came up big in that SEC championship game against Texas. Late in the ball game, they went to him twice in key moments. And I thought he had a really nice catch and run in the loss to Notre Dame. So the kid can play. I think he's going to be an NFL tight end. And I think all of these guys basically could end up in the NFL down the road. So just a group that we continue over and over to hear about. So yeah, Gunnar Stockton is doing just fine. The receivers are impressing. Bo Walker, the freshman running back, has a ton of hype. He's been outstanding from different sources that have been talking to us after the scrimmages. But the tight end group is one that, no one gives me information without at least talking about the tight ends a little bit. We're going to talk about the defense some more because that's a little bit of a different story. But the tight end group, this is tight end university for a reason at the University of Georgia. They pump them out, they find them, they recruit them, they sign them, they develop them. and they get them off to the NFL. That's what they do, and that machine is not slowing down anytime soon. It is off and running still, and I think that Georgia's tight ends are going to have a big season in 2025. You can read more about this and a lot of other team and recruiting news over on Dawg Post. Sign up to our free newsletter. It's free. Sign up today. It'll be the smartest thing you ever did. And make sure you head over to the website to read more inside scoop. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you on the next video.